Today we are at the 2023 Japan Mobility Show, which was formerly known as the Tokyo Auto Show. We're here with Nissan, getting to see some of their new cars, concepts. I'm really excited to see the coolest new cars coming in 2024, especially the ones that are JDM only, the Japanese market or rest of world that we do not get in America. So join me as we check out this show. There are several pretty big halls. We start with this one here and the Nissan stand, where they have some special cars for the 90th anniversary, which occurs later this year, including the Leaf, and this really cool red finish, one of the first mainstream EVs. And then back here, that looks like a Formula E car. Yep, that's a Nissan Formula E car here. Got the branding there. The cherry blossoms look pretty cool. Having seen F1 cars in person, this was much less aggressive. The aero is less evolved. Just look at that rear wing. Less of the downforce compared to a Formula 1 car. I haven't personally followed Formula E much, but it's still cool to see this here. Oh, look at this. It's the Sakura, which you see the zero emission logo back there. It means it's an EV. I think it's another 90th anniversary one. It's this little like skinny little square van shaped vehicle. One thing I'm noticing is a lot of the cars here are not wide at all. They are very, very narrow. Look how small those little wheels and tires are. It's so compact. I think I might get to drive one of these. I requested. I want to drive the cars that we don't get in America, and the Sakura was one of them. Take a look at that front end. Talk about a cool lighting signature. So these are all EV concepts. You have the Hyper Tour, the EV minivan that's fully autonomous, the seats swivel 360, and then we have under the cover here the Hyper Force. I think that's what they're calling it, and it's a concept again, but maybe previewing a future R36 generation GTR. There's a press conference later, they'll pull that off. I definitely want to see that. That's cool. And then this one here is the Hyper Punk concept. Nissan says the Hyper Punk concept is for content creators and artists, and the styling is definitely really cool, very origami inspired. You see like the low poly elements on the doors on the side. It makes the silver look really cool depending on how the light reflects off of it. And then those triangle lights on the wheels, obviously just purely a design study, a concept. On the inside they say like there's cameras that can be augmented to reflect the exterior, like a manga style thing. It's pretty cool. I remember as a kid going to auto shows, seeing these crazy like spaceship looking concept cars and being excited, and even seeing manufacturers release them, whether it's a design study or maybe a preview of a future car. It's just cool to see the engineers and designers pushing the envelope, and I really do think we've gotten less of those recently. A lot of times the concepts are good in that they indicate a production intent, and usually like the production car looks very similar to the concept car, but the crazy like spaceship looking ones there, that's always fun to see, and there seems to be a lot more here in Japan. We've got the Aria here on the other end of the stand. They're all electric crossover. We have spent time with one of these, the all-wheel drive version. I remember it being a good EV crossover, and for me the absolute highlight was the styling, because I think it looks really sleek and premium. And then the interior materials are so cool. This is like a blue suede, and then the use of wood trim, the copper accents inside. Obviously this one is right-hand drive, and then the buttons for climb and everything, they're like light up touch buttons underneath the wood. That was definitely one of my favorite parts of the Aria. Whoa, look at that. Whoa, okay. It's been a while since I've been to an auto show too, and many manufacturers, especially the US shows, have taken a step back in the complexity of their stands. But the display here is like the old days back when I used to go to the Detroit Auto Show, North American International Auto Show, and they had the crazy cool ones. That looks wild. Moving on to BMW, which is really cool to see, because I think most of the US auto shows, BMW, none of the really high-end brands have been attending. They have an iX5 hydrogen here. Hydrogen fuel cell powered X5. Hydrogen fuel cells are a really interesting technology, which for some reason hasn't taken on as much versus EVs. I think fueling stations are a challenge, but I remember doing a research paper on the technology back when I was in high school. And the byproduct is just like water, right? Clean water, but hydrogen is harder to store, transport, things like that. But iX5 hydrogen, and then we have the new i5, which actually, seeing it in person, doesn't look too terribly objectionable. It is a little bit weird seeing the I badge and the M badge together, because I was under the impression originally that I and M were supposed to be separate, hence no M version of the i8, which some of you may remember I spent some time with. Matte black finish here. And the light up kidney grills, which are, again, thankfully a relatively reasonable size. BMW is really weird for me right now because they still have some great to drive cars. The M5 CS, I drove the new M2, M3, M4 are like objectively a really, really good car. They look, I can't stand the styling on most of the vehicles, and the tech is still really nice. It's just, this seems to me they're kind of in a weird space. I think everything on display here we would get in America. We get the X2, I think. And the i5 definitely is coming. So Suzuki, a brand in America that may not be that popular, but rest of the world, look at this. The Jimny Sierra. I don't know how to properly explain why the Jimny excites me so much. The first time I really got excited was when I was in Dubai a couple years ago. And you see Jimnys with like little baby G-Wagon kits or converted to the Bronco look, or there's so much that people do to these vehicles, and the size, it's small, compact, affordable, just like cheap fun, right? And just something about it, it's like the mini G-Wagon look, the mini little Jeep type of thing. And I want a Jimny. Also, part of it's probably because we can't get them. Yes, you can import an older one, but I want a new one. I'm sorry, what? Compressed biomethane gas. Does that car run on cow farts? So this one here is called the Spacia concept, and that's what the name stands for. Some days don't go well, please take it easy. All right, creativity is always by your side. That is a very encouraging name to a car. We've got BYD, Build Your Dreams, a Chinese company that is really starting to grow pretty aggressively from what I've seen with a lot of electrified vehicles. Holy front grille on this U8. Big SUV, looks to be like Telluride, Hyundai Palisade kind of sized. I don't know, something about the styling also reminded me of it, but also that front end is pretty in your face. This is the Mazda Iconic SP, an update to one of their concepts from before, previewing a potential, I guess, Miata successor, but this is bigger. It's about 10 inches longer and a couple 100 pounds heavier than the Miata. But the powertrain that they're saying, again, this is just a concept. It's a hybrid rotary setup. So it's got electric motors powering the actual wheels, but has a rotary engine, internal combustion engine, that acts as a power generator, so like a range extender. 365 horsepower is the number they were saying. Slightly bigger than the Miata. The styling is also really cool. The doors were just open a second ago. I was snagging a picture, didn't get a video, but the doors go up. You can see a lot of the, obviously, Mazda Qs here, the Miata Qs. Sleeker headlights there. Whoa. Quick look at the side profile here. You got people making sure every single speck of dust is not showing on the car. And now the turntable just started up, so we can hang out here and take a look at a 360 around the Mazda Iconic SP. As far as I know, the Miata still has a little bit left in it of the current generation, so the ND. But this could be a preview of the future. Hybrid with rotary. This is a self-empowerment driving vehicle from Mazda. It's a Miata that has been fitted for those with disabilities so they can still drive it. You see like hand controls. That's nice. There's a wheelchair there in the passenger seat. So you can still have fun in a convertible Miata, even if you may have some mobility challenges. Okay, I know cars are smaller in Japan, but what is this little thing? It's tiny. This is cool. Mazda has a wall of model cars, little scale cars, but they aren't only, oh look, see an R8. They aren't just Mazda vehicles. There's an R8 there, there's a Peugeot, what's catching my eye? That's an F-Type. You got race cars, you got like construction equipment. This is such a cool display. Oh man, I could spend hours here. Lamborghini Countach, I think, yep. That's an Evo, oh boy. We've gone down the rabbit hole. Porsche. This is a really cool display, especially because it's not just Mazda cars only. There are definitely Mazdas in here somewhere. What is that one? It's so tiny. Got a Supra, Enzo. It's so cool. Good job, Mazda. This is their sport mobility concept, which looks wild. It's covered in forged carbon. Look at that forged carbon up front and then around the sides too. Yeah, look at all of that forged carbon, including the wheel covers that are a hexagon shape. The side here, it's very kind of squared off around the wheel arches. Maybe some sort of off-road rally sports car concept. Electrified, big glass canopy up there. And then gigantic drone. That was the first thing I saw when I walked into the hall. It's like, whoa, giant Subaru drone aircraft thing. Lighting is turned on up front. It is extremely wide, like super, super wide. You can get a bit of perspective here standing up front. Very wide, very rounded, boxy, if that makes any sense whatsoever. That would be cool to see as like a EV rally car. And then yeah, I don't know what that is up there. I mean, it just looks like a giant Subaru branded drone, right? It's got giant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rotors, I think. 3 up front, 3 in the back. Ooh, Mercedes-Benz EQG, the electrified G-Wagon concept. Well, that clearly is not going to fit one of these spare wheels in the back. That is a square. But electrified G-Wagon, I think this isn't all new, is it? It's got the two-tone silver brushed metal, the black up top, the big monoblock design wheels, and EQG. I've been wondering when Mercedes would finally get to it and produce one. It's been teased, they've shown stuff. Similar styling cues from the DRLs, the very boxy shape obviously, but you can see they changed up the grille. This is the, oh, here's the new C63, a hybrid one, 4-cylinder hybrid. RIP twin turbo V8 on the C-Class. It looks remarkably similar to the outgoing / current E63. From the styling of the headlights, it feels like it's grown a little bit too. Man, they all are starting to look more and more, yeah. If that drove by quickly, I would think it's an E63, I think. Well, gotta learn the new styling, but they all look more and more similar now. So I think everything on display here at the Mercedes stands, we will be getting in America. S63, EQS is already out here. The C63 will be coming, the 4-cylinder hybrid. It's just the EQG, which is a concept, obviously. These are the random things that Eddie notices when walking on a show. AMG backwards, GMA, Gordon Murray Automotive. And then we have this, the FTSE concept, a potential all-electric Toyota sports car. For a concept, actually, the wheels and tires look relatively reasonable. Those look like functional Michelins and wheels and brakes and everything too. Nice curves, crazy cool lighting up front. Lighting element is pretty awesome. It looks decently small, kind of mid-engine proportions. It's giving me baby NSX vibes, like some of the styling cues, the curves, the overall proportions. And then up front, when I get around this crowd of people, try to get a front view of the FTSE concept. I hope they pick a different name because that is not an easy name to pronounce. It's not super catchy, just letters. Up front, it has the Gazoo Racing badge instead of a Toyota logo. Definitely pretty aggressive, angry looking front end. Cool lighting signature, and it's decently compact and small. Bigger than like a Miata, but maybe like Lotus Emira sized. The new Land Cruiser looks to be a popular car to check out. They've got the 2 different kinds of headlight styling up front available on the new generation. But this will be available coming to America. We've already seen a ton of coverage on these. I'll wait till I get to spend some more time with one and drive it. But this is my first time seeing one of these in person. The latest gen Land Cruiser. Oh no, this thing has that like half steering wheel thing. What? Full 360 view of the Hyper Force. On the side it says 1,000 kilowatt. Again, obviously just a concept, so who knows actual production powertrain if they ever do it. But very clearly a GTR. See those tail lights? Got this crazy depth effect to them. It's like a tunnel going back in there. Light up Nissan logo, big fixed wing, a lot of forged carbon. That entire rear diffuser is forged carbon. Very angular too. Carbon fiber wheels, like forged carbon wheels, not even carbon fiber. They look solid almost. Almost looks like it has a little glowing red Rubik's Cube for a logo in the middle. And there we go, the butterfly doors going up. Get a glimpse of that interior. A lot of space behind the front seats too. So it would still ostensibly be a 4-seater. Holy crap, those doors. All right, so the initial reaction to the pictures I posted of the Nissan Hyper Force concept on social media has not been the most positive. It seems people are not hugely thrilled with the styling. I admit I don't love the front end, but I think the rear 3/4, the back of that car looks so cool. And again, it's a concept car, so they take it to the max extreme to indicate what the future could be like. It's got the doors opening there right now. Look at that. Yeah, the front fascia lower, not my favorite. I think the back looks really cool, but comment below, what do you guys think about the Nissan Hyper Force concept, a potential next generation GTR? What could it be like? And again, it is a concept car, not production intent. And obviously has to go kind of over the top, right? What concept car is boring and ordinary? That's not the point of them. So the halls here indeed are quite large, and they're also quite far away. I've been walking a lot today and managed to find another hall that had a bunch of like suppliers, but they also had a little supercar exhibit area which had Ferrari F40, a Koenigsegg Regera, Huracan STO, Aventador SVJ, 812 Competizione. That was pretty cool to see over there. We're back in the main area now, and I forgot to mention this blue car here at Suzuki stand. That is a concept for the next generation Suzuki Swift. I still don't think Chinese automakers have figured out how to make their own styling, because this one here reminds me of the Ioniq 6. From the headlight shape to the overall profile, the BYD seal. Is it supposed to look like a seal? Maybe. And then, see this rear 3/4, that is really reminding me of the latest Land Rover Defender, Hyundai Santa Fe maybe? No, whatever the new, yeah, Santa Cruz? No, Santa Fe. Whatever the crossover Hyundai is, it's kind of boxy now. And then, yeah, the front end has some Hyundai Palisade elements too. This right here illustrates the variety of Yamaha. You can get a motorcycle, you can get a grand piano, you can have these future things, robotics, more different motorcycle things. That looks like some sort of crazy e-bike concept, a dirt bike, a bass, a cello, like whatever you want, right? String instruments, pianos, a drum set, power sports, they're side by side. They do a little bit of everything. There is a Honda Prelude concept, which has many people excited if it comes back. A lot of these OEMs are reviving old names, affordable, fun little sporty hatchbacks. Look at that. I see some sporty touches, carbon fiber mirror covers, flush door handles. You see a little bit of a rear wing back there. Carbon fiber lower diffuser too. Pretty decent sized wheels and front brakes. A modern day Honda Prelude. All right, that essentially wraps up everything I wanted to show here in Tokyo at the Japan Mobility Show. My first time ever coming out here to Japan and getting to see these cars, the show. There's a lot of really cool stuff. I am definitely a little bit out of my element because usually at like a US auto show, I can do my research. I know what brands are there. I know the brands, I know the cars, I know the specs, I know what engine's probably in them. There's a lot of stuff here that's just completely foreign to me because we don't get them in America and I just don't know them. So you're coming along with me to see what these cars are like and the show overall. Some of these new cars definitely will get stateside. Like the Honda Prelude, I would say that's something that probably indicates a global vehicle. Some of the concepts. My highlights would be the Nissan Hyper Force. I know that one's controversial. People don't love the styling. A lot of angry comments about it already, but I personally think it was really cool to see, first of all. And in person, I like the rear end. It's very angular, very aggressive. And also to me, the indication that there's a chance that we'll get a future generation of the GTR, an R36, that this iconic nameplate for Nissan will continue on in some form. And I think that's a good thing, because I have enjoyed the R35 GTR, my time with them. It's such a cool car. A lot of people are very passionate about the GTR brand. And then we have, what else is cool? The Mazda. The little Miata concept looking thing. It's bigger than a Miata. It's rotary powered, but not rotary to the wheels. It is a hybrid, right? With a rotary range extender. So the styling of that is gorgeous. It looks really, really nice. Proportions, everything, that was really pretty. Honda Prelude, I mentioned that. Probably gonna get that into production form at some point. Some of the other concepts too. And then also Toyota had some pretty cool stuff too, from the little orange sports car to some of the new crossover SUV concepts. You can see everything is going electrified. Almost everything here is either hybrid or pure EV in some form. I'm trying to think, are there any, I mean, I saw Koenigsegg Regera, that's hybrid. There was a Huracan STO and an 812 Comp. Those are pure gas only, and a Ferrari F40, but those aren't new cars, right? Everything here is like hybridized, autonomous, hence the mobility show. We also have a lot of stuff that isn't purely just car focused, right? Whether it's motorcycles or bikes or other forms of mobility transportation. There were like suppliers too, trucks, all of that type of stuff. And oh yeah, the other thing is, beyond the fact that we're seeing cool cars that we don't see in America, they're completely different from the US market cars from a size, dimension, proportion, powertrain perspective. Like, I don't know, some of these probably wouldn't work well in American infrastructure. They're just too tiny, right? You might get lost in the blind spot of a semi-truck. The other thing was concept cars. So many more new concept cars. I'm not used to seeing so many of them. Everything usually just like production stuff rolling out, but some of these really forward-thinking concept cars have been cool. So there we go, my first time experiencing the Tokyo Auto Show, which is now known as the Japan Mobility Show. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.